Good evening, friends. Welcome to Draft 4 Upside. It is Wednesday night, about 8:45. They're not playing baseball in Cleveland for no apparent reason, and Chris is a pixelated Minecraft head. So that's what's going on in our world. Mark, how are you today? You got a beer? What's going on?
I do. My new favorite, which is the Founders Unraveled.
Yeah, very nice.
I love this beer.
Yes, tasty beverage, tasty beverage. I have dihydrogen monoxide again. Yes, it's very good for you. Chris, I thought I saw some whiskey floating around over there.
Yeah, I've got some Whistle Pig piggyback rye here. I've got some Michter's rye as well. I'm going to be drinking those.
Oh, very good stuff. I had a little bit of whiskey last night to get through that lovely debate, and I realized how much I've missed whiskey over the last 3 months. Yeah, I did. It's a true story. True story. All right. Well, first thing on the docket, I believe we have a currently postponed football game. Chris, you're up on the news more than I am. What's the latest on the postponed NFL game?
It's looking to be played probably Monday or Tuesday. Obviously not going to be on the DFS slate. Still kind of have to figure out how that's going to affect the weekly leagues, but it's up in the air.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, I'm the commissioner of 3 leagues, and I've been getting questions all day long. You know, what's going to happen with this? How's it going to handle it? I don't know. I have no idea. So if it becomes a problem and more games get postponed and the schedule keeps moving around, I don't know what to say. One of my leagues is like, if this is going to be a pain in the ass each week, I'd rather you just refund everybody's money and we don't worry about it. And I've had the other league that it's like, hey, tough crap, deal with it. It's just like your guy getting injured. So it's really an interesting scenario for fantasy football for sure. DFS, who really cares? You just move on to another group of players. But seasonal league, it's definitely causing some chatter in my text box. I don't know.
I'm of the opinion of just you let it go. If they just move it, if it stays in the same week, who cares, right?
Right, for sure. I just don't know how they're going to do it if they don't play Monday or Tuesday. Like, I mean, to move it, it's not like baseball where there's open holes in the schedule. You can just slide a game in. You're going to have to rework like everyone's bye weeks if they've got to reschedule a couple of games. It's going to be a giant pain in the ass. So I hope they just do it Monday or Tuesday would be awesome.
Tuesday night would be a plan, right?
Great. Yeah.
I mean, the NFL had to have a plan for this.
They did. Right. They said that this was all part of the way that they shut everything down in terms of in response to it. Was all part of their contingency plan. So, I don't know, maybe they'll start moving a bunch of games into Monday. And so we'll have, more games on Monday. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? So for example, these guys have to play on Tuesday, push their next game to Monday, and that certainly disjoints a lot of different games along with it. But, we saw how successful the ratings were for the NBA playing games in the middle of the day. So, why couldn't the NFL do a kind of all day kind of Thanksgiving like slate on a Monday or a Tuesday?
Yeah, I absolutely love pushing the game into Monday. Who cares? Let's play a couple of Monday games. Let's do it. I like Monday. I like Tuesday. Tuesday would be great. Any day you can add football to my life is a better day.
All right.
Well, moving on down the list.
How did everybody do last week?
I played $80 in games, and I won back $78.
That's good.
I live to fight another week.
I played 300 and won back 200.
Aha. Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I think that Chris and everybody was chatting during that day. We had a lot of pieces right. We had a couple of pieces wrong. I had at least 4 players in every single lineup that I built that were just dynamite, and I came close. I mean, I played nothing but big, large field GPPs, dollar and a prayer tournaments, and won. All basically broke even, won all my money back. So that means I had a lot of right plays. I had a lot of in the green spots. I mean, I had 20 lineups into that one of those 20 max competitions and 17 of them cashed. I mean, it was just like one of those, but none of them won more than like that minimum cash back, right? So a lot of great plays, just couldn't get them all quite together. So Chris having a little technical difficulties. He didn't want to be a Minecraft man, so it looks like he's gonna restart and go. Did you do any golf digging, Mark? Did you read my article? Do you care about golf this week?
I do care about golf this week. I did not read your article. As you
That
know,
just hurts my feelings, Mark. It hurts my feelings.
I will read it. I probably will read it tonight. But as you know, I worked right up until we started broadcasting. So
I do know that. I do know that. It's a very short article, and it basically just shows the plays that I like. So there you go.
Did you get any input from our PGA man, Adam?
I did not. Adam's very busy. I know we have missed him a lot, and we tease him, and we make fun of him, and we shame him for not showing up with us. But I did see on Facebook today that it looks like he has a lease for an indoor space for his Measured Golf company that he started during this whole COVID situation. As with people having more time to go out and play golf, it's probably booming. It's probably a great industry to be in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like he is super busy with that as soon as they
Yeah.
allowed the golf courses to open back up.
And every time I guilt him into giving me an answer about something, he does say, yes, no, I'm not, I'm still interested in hanging out with you guys. I still want to do the show. It's just not in the cards right now. So it's all good. We'll get him back, and the winter will happen, and he won't be out so late. And hopefully, I mean, if the indoor thing kicks off, hey man, if he doesn't need us because he's so busy kicking it out of the park with his own business, then more power to him.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about having success.
Well, that's right, man. Absolutely correct. I got to do a better job of keeping track of Facebook, I guess. We had some questions go last week that we missed during the show. So I'm going to try to do a better job keeping a lookout. Of course, when I say that now, nobody's going to say anything. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Well, Chris did. Chris just made a comment.
That's right. However, I did notice in this cool, was it called StreamYard? Is that what we're using?
Yeah.
StreamYard thing that Mr. Lou Landers turned us on to. It appears that it pulls comments from the Facebook live feed and the YouTube live feed and puts it into the chat room in here.
Yeah, it does.
So that's pretty cool. So people on Facebook Live, on Draft for Upside, of course, draftforupside.com, DRAUGHT, like draft beer. People on Draft for Upside's Facebook page who can watch this live will be able to put comments in there, and Mark will be able to see them. Maybe I can too. I'm on full screen. How do I go back out of full screen? Nobody knows. Probably the escape button.
I can see it for sure.
That's cool. So, yeah. Like it, right? Chris says Zach Johnson wasn't included in the article. That's probably an oversight, right? No, man, not on ZJ, not on him this week. I'm not the PGA expert though, man. I read like 6 or 7 articles. I listened to a couple of my favorite podcasts. I listened to what they all thought the course would play out. I took those and I went over to our favorite group, FantasyNational.com, plugged those stats into their model generator and generated a model, came up with some guys, looked at who had been playing good recently, looked who played well on comparable courses, and just kind of threw it out there. I tell you, apparently for the last 6 consecutive years, it's been a first-time winner. So kind of heavily played on my own lineups, some guys that have been close but haven't quite won. So that's another piece of advice for you.
And it's been a mix of bombers and ball strikers. So
that's right. That's right.
Even though the course shows it as a fairly long straight course, it doesn't necessarily favor the bomber.
That's right. And the roughs aren't really penal, and apparently the greens are fairly easy as long as you don't fall off the edges. So should be a very low scoring week, probably in the 20 unders. But I think my favorite guy at the top, Sungjae Im. I think that he's a guy that consistently plays well. He's not going up against the top 10 in the world. He's probably got the most pedigree in the field right now, him and Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler's probably going to be way more owned because he's been hotter as of late. I like Sungjae Im a lot. And Doc Redman, I think this could be a good course for a guy like Doc to come out and win. And then my long shot favorite for the week is Sepp Straka.
Straka. I love the name.
Sepp Straka.
Yeah, I
Like
think
it.
Sanjay Im's going to be probably the second most owned
Oh,
golfer.
probably. Very possible. Very possible. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys to like here. Luke List, which, of course, you regret not having in your lineup last week.
Oh, I would have won so much money. Dude,
If he stays hot, man, I mean, Adam has always told us that Luke List has every skill you could possibly imagine to win golf tournaments. He just can't keep his putter hot. So if his putter hits, man, he puts it all together. This course is made for him. Are you going to go back to him this week? A little buyer's remorse from last week? Or not buyer's remorse, I guess.
Yeah, I probably will, to be honest with you. Right. I think he lines up with the course very well.
Nice.
Yeah, last week I went into Sunday. I texted you guys that I had a sweat because I was only like 9 points out of first place on Sunday, and Adam Long shit the bed on Sunday.
Yeah,
and knocked me back to. I ended up like 23rd place in the big tournament.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
but all the money's in the top 5.
yeah. 20th place got me $100 instead of 5,000.
Yeah.
So, looks like we're gonna try to get Chris back in here.
All right. Hey, that's a lot better.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Talk for a minute there, Chris. Let's.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Now the issue is that your audio is a little off of your picture, but it's good.
The microphone's on the other side of the room, apparently.
There you go.
How's that?
Looks good to me. Better? Yes, much better.
Okay. Yes. All right, let's do this. Zach Johnson, huge oversight on your part. Absolutely should be in your lineup. I'm going to play a lineup. I'm going to send you a head-to-head.
I like it. I'm in. I have about 27 cents in my account, so make sure it's a free head-to-head.
Sending you a $10,060 head-to-head.
All right, I'm in.
We'll do it for free, but just on the side.
All right, I'll if you win, I'll send you some beer in the mail.
Sounds good. Wait a second. That's all you know.
I still have the beer. It's sitting in a box. I just don't have any money for postage. So, hey, I just got to win some money here. I'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Right. I know exactly how that feels. Was one guy off of the right lineup in LOL last night. Would have been a $8,000 payday. Instead, it was a $500 loss. That's how big it was.
Well, I played that dog and took like 4th to last place.
Yeah, dog was not the way to do it last night. It was favorite, but I mean that's how it goes.
Hey, when you have one lineup against 370,000 lineups, you play the most least likely one you can possibly think of. Just in case it hits.
Yeah.
So I'm mad at it. It was $1, man. Who cares?
So is Worlds over now for LOL?
No, that was just a play-in. So Worlds, the actual big tournament starts on Tuesday, and there's some really, really big contests. Tuesday, I know there's one for you guys that you're going to be really into. It. What? I can't figure this out. All right, there we go. There's a $555, $100,000 or $50,000 to first. Pretty exciting tournament. I'm geeked for that one. But no, there's some good ones in there. $15, $20 to $20,000 to first. 6 games per slate as opposed to the 1 or 2, and so you don't have to play dog. You can play 2 favorites, just as long as they're not the favorite. You probably won't be able to do favorite in terms of the top favorites. So it should be pretty exciting.
Noise. I hate to tell you, but you're back to being a Minecraft pixelated man again.
I know what it is then. All right. I know what it is. It's the camera's
TV.
You need to upgrade your internet.
No, the camera's trying to pick up the TV in the background, or the TV's in the background. That's what it is.
Oh.
So. All right, we'll get started on Thursday. I'm going to do one thing, and then I'll be right back in. So I know exactly how to probably fix this. So.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll get started on Thursday then. All right. Well, Mark, tell us about Thursday.
Let me pull it up here.
Well, we have possibly the two worst teams in the NFL playing. Start off with that.
What is it? Denver, Miami, or something like that?
No, Miami. Okay, they got Fitzmagic. You can never be the worst team in the league with Fitzmagic. We've got Denver Jets, my friend. We've got the Broncos and the Jets.
Yeah.
In New Jersey, 2 0-3 teams. I don't know, man.
I don't even want to play it.
We're gonna play it. Let's be honest. We're gonna play it. So we got Frank Gore. We got Melvin Gordon. Noah Fant. Is Crowder going to play? Still questionable. Chris, you love Jamison Crowder more than the average man. Any news on Crowder?
I don't care. I'm not playing this slate. I'm
Right.
gonna have a word out for it, but I'm not interested in playing it at all. I have some exposure in terms of the Monday, Thursday slate that I have a couple lineups that are in nice position. I had a kind of a nice sweat on Monday for the prime time. The showdown didn't go so well, but I had a couple lineups that just needed. I needed another McCole Hardman touchdown. If he had caught that other one, would have put me in a good spot. I was as high as 8th, and I think the $33. I think I finished like 34th or something like that. So, yeah, like this Thursday game just doesn't really do it for me. This might be just a day to save a little bit on the showdown monies.
Dude, for sure. I mean, Mark and I were just laughing that we don't have any interest. We'll probably throw a lineup in because obviously one of or both of you will write some content for it. I'll probably play some prize picks for it. But am I going to watch this game? Absolutely not. I got better things to do on a Thursday night than watch the Broncos and the Jets play. Just saying. No interest. No interest at all.
I mean, I'm probably just going to straight bet it. I probably won't have much showdown exposure, maybe one lineup. Who knows? As I write the content for it, I might get excited and might put in a lineup. But, certainly if somebody wants to play it, if the Jets are your team, if the Broncos are your team, if you want to watch these two teams play, you just don't care. I mean, a lot of us watched that train wreck yesterday, so maybe this is something else that you want to expose yourself to. I'll have some content out there, but I'm certainly not going to be running 20, 30, 40 lineups for it like I typically do, which I probably should stop anyway because I haven't been really super successful. Hate showdowns.
Yeah.
Hate them. I enjoy it right. I don't know.
Honestly, Chris, I've been enjoying just playing like the quarter jukebox on them because you can get kind of goofy and spend $5 on a maxed out lineup. So.
Well, I mean, again, the thing is, when you're putting in lineups and you're trying to take first place, you're going to lose more often than not. I mean, I went back and I looked at my last 2 months in terms of overall play, not just NFL, obviously, because I don't play that every day, but League of Legends versus the last 2 months. I have figured out that I want to do some different things with my process, but, I'm going to tell you that I lose more often than I win. But, man, when you win and you win big, it pays off for it. So,
for sure.
I don't know. Hopefully I win the NBA slate tonight and we'll go from there.
I dig it. Yeah, first thoughts of this.
Let's get into some good football.
Yeah, let's get into some good football. I agree with you. I just want to put a shout out to our boy Lou Landers, who does the baseball content for us right now at fantasyfootballblueprint.com, which hopefully he'll change the name of the site at some point to just Fantasy Sports Blueprint would be great since we're doing all kinds of different things. But anyways, Lou Landers, owner, operator, manager of the sports crew, whatever he calls himself over there, SiriusXM radio host, has been absolutely murdering baseball. He's given us some nice insider information on some lineups that we have used to win a couple of bucks. He's been on fire on the Vegas betting side. And I sent him the prize picks lineup tonight for the pitchers on the entire late MLB slate. And he ran them through his own projections with their scoring and sent me over his over-under recommendations. And he currently is batting 1,000 for the first 3 games. All I need is Walker Buehler to dominate tonight, and I will go 4 for 4 on 4-way parlays for the night, thanks to Lou Landers. So thank you, Lou. Appreciate you. Just wanted to shout him out. That's all. Just wanted to shout him out. Unless Carrasco goes crazy and Walker Buehler gets blown up, then I'm going to swear at him probably. But that's fine too. Anywho, let's get into Sunday main slate DraftKings DFS football. Where do we want to start? Let us go to the Saints coming to Detroit. 54.5 over-under with a 4-point favor are the Saints at the moment. Can anybody stop Kamara? Is this like the last year or two with CMC when he's hot? It doesn't matter what he costs because he's going to put up 30, 40 points every week, and you just play him until he shows you that he's not going to do it anymore?
Yeah, there is a guy that can stop him. His name's Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas slated to come back this week from everything that I've seen. If he doesn't, then yeah, absolutely. Play Kamara. He's way too cheap. But if Michael Thomas is there taking all that usage, then yeah, no, I'm not interested. I think there are a lot better plays at that point.
I mean, the Lions do typically have troubles stopping people of that talent. They handled Drake better last year. Speaking of that, we'll get to Drake in the next game. But let's continue on this one. Thomas, he's been practicing. He probably is going to play this game. I've been keeping an eye on it because I have him in 2 leagues. So I've been keeping a fairly close eye. I think he plays, and I think you are right. I think he will take some away from Kamara. But if they get out to a big lead on Detroit and maybe limit him to stop a re-injury, maybe Kamara still pays off that price tag. But can't deny how well he's played. Anybody else on that Saints side that you like in this game better? Is Sanders a better value with Thomas taking looks away?
No, I don't think you play Sanders. He's washed. I don't think you ever play him anymore. There's almost no reason to play him. I think that offense comes down to 2 people. It's Kamara and it's Michael Thomas. Those are the only 2 guys that have any semblance of skill at this point. Drew Brees can't throw the ball. Looks terrible out there. I bet they wish they got Tom Brady. They wanted to, but they stuck with Brees. Brees will look better with Michael Thomas. I expect him to put up points, but look, Kamara, he's at a fine price, but he's not the slam dunk play that he would have been without Michael Thomas.
I can agree there. Mark, on the other side of the ball, where do you play your Lions? Galladay looked pretty good last week.
He looked okay. I mean, Stafford definitely was trying to target him, put him in the game, but Stafford looks terrible this year. And I'm actually not that interested in playing anybody on the Detroit side in this game. I'm going to finally fade the Lions. They burned me for 3 weeks now. So.
Oh, man, let's stack the Lions. There we go.
Stacking the Lions. All right, putting one in now.
I think Galladay's a fine play. I don't think that there's a problem with him. He's still at a low-end price. I think the guy that you really want to look to, though, in this offense is going to be T.J. Hawkinson. When it comes to the Saints, they've had some issues in terms of tight ends. We're seeing even last week with Galladay back, 7 targets, only 4 receptions and 53 yards. Granted, that's not the end result that you want there. Just a little bit below value. But when you look at what's happened to the Saints in the last couple of weeks, save that O.J. Howard, Tampa Bay. I guess maybe we can throw that out. But Darren Waller, 12 receptions, 105 yards. And then the Green Bay tight ends, 5, 1, and 3 for a little bit over 102 touchdowns. This is the team that's giving up the most fantasy points. Granted, it's the 2 of those. And, yeah, the tight end position, when you look back year over year, I think is the one that's the most volatile in terms of how did they do the year before, because who did they face? And just looking through these names for New Orleans, they didn't really face a lot of guys last year that, were expected to put up a lot of points. Just Kittle. Kittle put up 6 for 67 with a touchdown. Jonnu Smith, who wasn't, the same guy that he is right now, 3 for 63 and a touchdown. So I like T.J. Hawkinson. I think you can put him with Marvin Jones. I think you can put him with Stafford. If you think that this offense in New Orleans is going to put up some points, or you don't believe in the defense because the defense hasn't shown that they can stop anybody, I like it. I like this game, especially Mark's out of it. They're going to burn you, Mark, and that's the whole point. Is the Lions are there and they exist solely to burn you. And so if you're not going to play them, please let me know. I'll up my exposure. If you are going to play them, I'll just limit it. I'll still play them with you. Don't think I'm trying to do that, but it's just the way it goes.
I always have my 1 Lion stack, but in previous weeks I played them all over the place. Not this week. I'm just doing my 1 stack and that's it.
All right. Well, I was building lineups today just to get a sense for where guys were, and I built 9. Hawkinson worked his way into one of them. So I got a little love for Hawkinson. I'm jumping back on Logan Thomas so far, and Darren Waller. Those are my guys at the moment.
Where TJ will come in, just like he did last week, is in garbage time. So it'll be he gets all of his catches in the late third and fourth quarters. So if you're predicting the Saints to go up big, yeah, Hawkinson's a great play because Stafford's just going to be pumping the ball at that point.
All right, moving on. We're going to head over to, I just lost my page, Arizona. Why is my page not coming back up?
Carolina, Arizona, Carolina.
Yeah, there we are. I was just trying to see who was the home team. Arizona heading to Carolina. We have got a 52-point over-under. 3.5-point favorite are the Cardinals. Are we sticking with Drake one more week, man? 3 weeks in a row we've played him, Chris. Do we got to go one more time with the Panthers?
Yeah, I don't think why wouldn't you? I mean, are we mad about his results? Absolutely. He hasn't really found the end zone, but I don't see any reason why would you get away from him. The guy's playing a significant number of the snaps. I mean, he had 18 carries, 73 yards. The one thing that he's not being involved in that happened a lot more last year is the pass game. So we're not getting that upside in terms of receptions and the receiving yards, but we're still getting 18 to 20 carries. I mean, 16, 18, and 20. That's 18 carry average. 60, 70, and 80. He just needs a couple more yards, get that 3-point bonus. And if he gets into the end zone, he pays off. And I think at this point, going against the one of the worst teams in terms of defending the rush. He's only 6,000, so we've gotten a reduction there. Yeah, I absolutely like it. I mean, I like a lot of pieces here. I think Drake's in a great spot where he's burned a lot of people, and people are not going to go to him, but all the boxes are still checked there for him. On the other side, I like Mike Davis, and DJ Moore. So this is a game that's pretty exciting. I think I'm going to have a lot of pieces from.
I couldn't agree more. Mark, what are you thinking on the Carolina side? What's your favorite part of this side for the Carolina Panthers? I mean, Arizona's pretty cut and dry for the most part. It's their three main studs, but what do you got on the Panther side? I like Robbie Anderson personally.
Yeah, I do too. I like Robbie Anderson. I like Curtis Samuel. I think Teddy can do some damage against this Arizona defense. And I'll probably go there. Like Chris said, you can play Drake. Carolina doesn't have a great running defense. I'm going to play him a little bit less because of the fact that he's not getting the pass catching. I will still have him in some lineups though.
I mean, but to be fair, I mean, he still ran more routes than Chase Edmonds, so it's not like he's not being involved in the pass game in the sense that he's not out there, he's not running the routes. It's just he hasn't been targeted currently. And so those are type of things that are indicators that you want to kind of follow up, because if he's running the routes, he's out there, eventually he's going to regress to the mean and he's going to catch those passes. Yeah, I mean, again, his price reflects what it is. And if you look at Drake, he's had games where he's gotten 3 or 4 touchdowns. So this could be one of those games where we see that, and you're going to get them at much lower ownership. A lot of the ownership projections that I look at aren't out yet, but I imagine he's not one of the top guys because he's not somebody that I initially was inclined to, kind of based off of recency bias, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I think his ownership will be down because of what we just talked about. Now, what do you think about Kyler Murray? He's thrown an interception every game so far this year. Does that streak continue, or do you think he can clean that up against Carolina?
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at what those interceptions were and were they his fault, at what point in the game were they. I don't have that information in front of me. I haven't gone back and looked at all of his interceptions. So that's difficult to.
I can tell you the 3 he threw against Detroit last week were all his fault. The Lions are not that good. And they just stood there and it just got thrown to their chest.
Yeah, looking through the matchups here, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins always is going to be a top target, but DJ Moore and the current setup I'm looking at is looking to have a top 10 wide receiver matchup on his own there too. So I like DJ Moore here. I like Mike Davis, man. I mean, he's putting up the volume, he's putting up the numbers, he's catching the ball, and they only raised his price to $5,700 this week. So I think Mike Davis is going to see some lineups for me as well.
How many targets did he have last week?
He had 9 targets and caught 8 of them.
Yeah, see, that's great. And Mike Davis is in great position here then.
Yeah, $5,700. I just like it. I like it a lot. I like a game stack here, man. Maybe 3 from one and 2 from the other even.
That's after 8 targets the week before. He played 39 of 51 snaps. I mean, so yeah, I think at 5,700, he's going to be super popular though.
Super popular.
I think it's justified. I'm definitely going to have some Mike Davis. I'm going to have certain decisions to make, and we had a lot of decisions to make last week in tight end, and they almost were all bad. But yeah, Mike Davis right now slotted to be the 4th highest owned running back behind Kamara, Mixon, and Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
Behind Mixon.
Mixon.
I got no interest in Mixon. I never play Mixon. His floor is too low. I just can't. I just hate when I play him. I hate it. Anyways, moving on. Next game. Let's talk about Mixon. We'll go with the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 3-point favorites in a 49-point over-under. Cincinnati looked like they had some life. James Robinson on the other side of the ball has been impressive in his role thus far. Mark, have you liked James Robinson? Did you get him in any of your leagues? I got him in 3 out of 4 leagues as a freebie before the year started. If you would have listened to any of the stuff I put out before the season, he'd be on your bench too. In your starting lineup, I should say.
Yeah, I was not able to snag him in any of my season longs.
Is he going to keep it up versus Cincinnati? Do you like Mixon in this thing after I just trashed him and said his floor is too low and I don't want anything to do with him?
I'm not a Mixon fan in general. He's in a good position here against Jacksonville's defense, but I don't know. I'm not a fan. He just doesn't excite me. Let's put it that way. This game in general does not excite me in the DFS terms. If
DJ Chark is going to play, I like it a lot because I think Minshew gets a little bit of magic back in his step if DJ Chark is back out there. I love my Minshew, man. I root for him, Chris. I root for him.
I know you do.
What do you think about this game, my friend?
Yeah, I think Mixon's an all right play. You're going to have significantly suppressed ownership just because he hasn't started off very good. But, go back to last year. He had a real slow start to last year. Still, running the ball, getting the bulk of the work in terms of snaps. And he ran enough routes last week. Didn't see a ton of targets. But, this team is lacking some weapons, or lacking a clear direction with the weapons, I should say. We saw Trey Higgins, which was a guy that we talked about a little bit after we went off the air as I was trying to find a cheap guy. And I looked at Higgins, kind of liked him, but the price was a little bit more than what I could fit into my lineup. So I dismissed him and moved on. And yeah, He came back to burn me. Whoops.
Dude, just like when I was making the Tipsy Pick video and touted Rex Burkhead drunkenly and then decided to edit it out, and then he got 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. And I ended up playing in that 3,500 spot. I played Drew Sample, who did absolutely nothing. I think all of these guys are still interesting. It's just going to be who's going to be the guy that you're going to go to. Tyler Boyd's a good price, but I feel like, maybe I'm just, this is some wrong bias here, but I just felt like last year, yeah. So the 2 times last year, 3 times last year that Tyler Boyd had some really fantastic games. He bounced back with just a dud right after. That's more noise than it is a trend that I would pay a lot of attention to. Tyler Boyd had 13 targets last week. I expect him still to be in that 7-8 range. A lot of these targets are short-range targets that are easy to complete. So, if he's going to get 8 targets, he's going to catch 6 of them, probably 60, 70 yards. Doesn't really get you where you need to, but gives you a nice median floor that if he can score a touchdown or get some yards after the catch, he can get into that 100-yard bonus and kind of pay off his salary. So I like different parts of this. This is a nice total for these 2 teams. Neither defense has shown much in terms of being able to stop the other team. And yeah, I mean, I love James Robinson on the other side too. I certainly have him in one of my higher dollar leagues, and it was one that my running back situation looked grim going into the year because I just forgot to draft a running back, I shouldn't say I forgot. I decided to wait, and then there was just nobody there. And I ended up with James Robinson, Derrick Henry, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, I think the big thing in this matchup for me is if Chark can come back. If DJ gets back in there, Minshew's a different quarterback. He loves throwing to DJ. I'm really interested in him if he's there. Absolutely. Love some DJ. Okay, keep that monitored. Let's move on to the next game. Next game is the Cleveland Browns heading to Dallas. We have a 56-point over-under, Dallas 5-point favorites. It's interesting here because Dak in standard fantasy leagues, of course, is what I look at most stats, is number 4. He's the passing yards leader in the NFL right now. He's rushed for 3 touchdowns. Yet Jerry Jones comes out and kind of puts him on blast out in the media. I mean, what's he trying to motivate? This guy's playing out of his mind. It's not his fault the defense just blows and can't stop anybody from scoring. Nobody?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Yeah, it's Jerry Jones, right? Let's talk about one of Chris's absolute favorite topics and the absolute physical dominance of one Michael Gallup and why he should be the number 1 overall draft in the 2021 fantasy draft.
I thought he was a good pivot last week. I was kind of upset that I didn't have a stack of Russ, either DK or Lockett, because I would have ran it back with Gallup. That was the guy. He didn't end up in some of my lineups. And just looking back on it, those were some of the mistakes. And you just kind of have to figure out the mistakes you make. And that was one. It was hard to do much without Lockett, without Russ, and without some of those Dallas pass catchers. But this week, it's – I don't know. That defense can't stop anybody. Cleveland has looked a little bit better. So, it's going to be an interesting game. But I think that, the weakness in Cleveland's defense has been against wide receivers and tight ends. And we know they don't have a lot of tight ends in Dallas. The running game, they've been able to shut down to some extent. So I expect it to be another, fairly decent day for the pass catchers. But I'm targeting Amari Cooper. If I'm looking at those 3, I just tend to like Cooper at home over the other 2 guys.
I can get behind that. I'm a big fan of Hunt on the other side. I think we're going to see an Odell Beckham game break out, but it's just not the way they've been playing this offense. They've been really just pounding between Chubb and Hunt and really focusing on those 2 guys and keeping the defense guessing whether it's going to be running or passing with just those 2 guys. Do you see a big game out of Odell Beckham here, Mark? I mean, he usually has one of those 150-yard, 2-touchdown games. Could it be this one?
It could, but am I willing to roll the dice on this being the one? No. In this game, I think Cleveland sticks with their game plan they've had the last couple of weeks, which is Chubb and Hunt. And they march the ball down the field on the Cowboys. This is the highest over/under for the main slate, and I don't see much of a passing game out of Cleveland myself, and I would rather have Landry anyways over Odell.
Yeah, definitely price break usually. I haven't looked at the price between the 2 yet.
And like Chris said, Cooper's great at home. I think it's a great play for the Dallas side. Dak's playing out of his mind. Ezekiel Elliott's playing great. He's getting lots of targets. He's in the passing game more this year. So I think this is going to get to that over, but it's just a matter. I'm just not sure what Cleveland's going to do. I think I kind of lean towards your thinking of Kareem Hunt active in the passing game.
I just think I might play Chubb and Hunt and Dak and Elliott and Cooper. Just see what happens. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give you a perspective,
for funsies.
The last 2 seasons, Amari Cooper at home has 12 touchdowns versus away he has 4. So 1,600 yards to 700, 100 receptions to 64. So all the numbers indicate that he's better fantasy asset in Dallas than he is on the road. So that's kind of the thought behind that. And especially coming off of a road game where his ownership should be a little bit suppressed, where you've got CeeDee Lamb, you've got Cedric Wilson, you've got Michael Gallup, you have all of these different guys that are going to take away ownership from him.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, I hate it when we all agree. It's miserable. It's terrible TV, I tell you. It's terrible TV. All right, what can we get in a fight about? Well, Minnesota, Houston, is that game going to get postponed too? Have you heard anything about that? Minnesota's been very adamant that they're doing more testing than necessary, and everything's negative and everything's clean, and they're good to go. So I think that game's going to play as scheduled. Personally.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
I'm not too worried about it over either, I should say. Let's see. I have a bit of exposure in my first 9 lineups here to this game. There's no over-under or line, of course, because Vegas has it on hold, waiting for word from the NFL, at least what I'm looking at here.
No, I have it at 54 and a half.
Okay, I got nothing on mine. It just says NA, says that for that. And
29 and a half implied total for the Texans, 25 for Minnesota.
All right, fair enough. So when I first built the lineups here, let me go back to those. I find myself, great radio again. Sorry, lost my spot.
We are a day earlier this week, so.
I know. I'm not as ready as I was. I wrote that PGA article today. It took a lot of time out and effort out of my day. And Chris, I appreciate you. You read it. I appreciate you. I don't appreciate Mark. I don't. He didn't read it. I feel personally hurt, and I don't know how to move on from that. Anyways, Randall Cobb kind of made a comeback here. This last week, a few people I heard on Twitter and a few podcasts were kind of on him. I don't know. I wrote about him in my waiver wire pickups and basically said no thanks on my end. What did you think, Mark? Did you watch any of this game last week?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see how he looked, but I don't know. I mean, he looked okay. It didn't look like his usage was huge. I got a lot of questions. I got like 3 or 4 different texts about Randall Cobb after I wrote that waiver wire. And am I wrong, Chris? Am I wrong to dismiss Randall Cobb?
No, I don't think he's in a big enough role in the offense. And, I think you can – I mean, I guess it's okay. That's just not where I'm looking at 4,800. There are other parts of this game that I'm super interested in. I love Will Fuller in this game. I think he's in a fantastic spot. I think David Johnson is in a fantastic spot at a great price. But that side of it, there are going to be people that score some points. And, you got to find the pieces on Houston if they're going to score. It's going to be probably between those 2 guys or a couple other random touchdowns between guys like Cobb, guys like Fells, guys like Cook, who's super, super cheap at this point and hasn't produced, and that's why his price is where it is. But
I really like Brandon Cook on this lineup. I think it's a great price, and he's got
he's playing just as much as Randall Cobb, so that's not a problem. But my favorite play is on the other side of this game. It's going to be Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is just going to destroy this team. They've had a hard time defending the run. I think I told you so, guys, on the show last week about James Conner. I somehow talked my way out of him, and I didn't play any of them, even though I was adamant on Thursday that was the right play. Somehow I went to the passing game, played some juju, looked like he was going to have a great game, but just kind of disappeared. But Dalvin Cook, 7,600. It's a nice price tag to pay for him. It's a big price tag that's going to scare some people off, but he is right now the 9th highest ownership, around 11 to 12%, behind Hilaire, behind Henderson, Drake, Johnson, guys like Davis, Elliott, Kamara. Give me that leverage. I'll take a guy like Cook, who last week really paid off on that leverage. He was another guy that we talked about on the Sunday morning show that I like. I have him in some of my lineups. It just didn't, wasn't the right one.
Yeah, I had a lot of Cook last week. I'll have a lot of Cook this week. I like him a lot, and season-long note, if you don't have Alexander Madison on your team, if you're a Cook owner, you're a moron. This team is just lined up and ready to roll, and you got to have that guy. This is handcuff season, man. With COVID sickness, with everything going around, handcuff these guys. Do it right now. On a side note, I just saw that they moved Carlos Hyde to questionable. So talking about Travis Homer, last week, I told people to keep an eye on Travis Homer. This week, I'm telling you, go take a flyer on Travis Homer. I'm sure he cleared the waivers. Pick him up, put him on your team, just see what he does. Don't start him. But just a side note, because I just saw Carlos Hyde got added to the questionable mark. I like Homer. I like Homer. What can I say?
Yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't do it.
I'd pick him up on a flyer in a seasonal team. Why not?
I wouldn't.
Got to churn those bench spots, bro.
No, man. I don't believe in all these handcuffs. You have other guys that you can play. It's okay. You don't need the backup running back to the backup in Seattle when Carson's coming back and they haven't been run heavy this year. If they don't have any running backs or Homer's playing, guess what? They're just throwing it. They're going to let Russ cook. I don't need Homer at that point.
It's possible. Sometimes you're in these 14-team leagues with fucking 8 bench spots, man. You got to dig. Just saying. Not everybody plays like 4 spots, bro.
You're clowning.
Wait and see.
Danger.
You.
Just shut up.
Can't figure out this reverse feed.
Shut up about Homer.
Shut up, man. I love it, man. I like Thielen too. Yeah, I like this game. Big fan of this game. Hopefully it plays. I don't see why it won't. Next game, Seattle Seahawks heading to Miami. 6.5-point favorites are the Seahawks. 54-point over/under. I mean, I really like Fitzmagic, man, because I think you got to love almost everybody on the Seahawks like we do every week. And I think this is a week that Fitzpatrick could throw one of those Fitzpatrick's games. I'm not going to be heavily invested, but I'll have a lineup there. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I love this game. And you have on the Seattle side, Chris Carson's banged up, which leans you more towards a Russell Wilson type game. And I like the Fitzmagic angle too. Seattle's ranked 32nd in the league against passing. So I like myself a little Devontae Parker.
Chris, what you like here, man?
I like in this game, though. I mean, seriously, look, going back to the whole Homer thing, Seattle has only ran the ball 35% of the time. That's 25th in the league. I don't want anybody from this rushing attack. And like I said about Carson, I fit him into some lineups last week, and that was kind of a mistake. I got lucky in week 1 where he scored 2 receiving touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick whoever you want, Lockett, Metcalf, either of those guys. They're good to go. Lock them in. The problem is when you're trying to stack them with Russ, certainly can pay off his price, and you're going to have to find some other spots. But you can look on the other side, like you said, Fitzpatrick. That's guy. He's my cash quarterback. That's who I would play in cash. He's
man.
Gaskin in a fantastic spot in terms of his price, in terms of his usage, hasn't found the end zones, getting the high value targets, getting the touches in the green zone. It's going to come for him. He's getting the passes, he's getting the rushes. Howard stole a couple touchdowns from him. Breeda's non-existent. Devontae Parker's fantastic. I had a great call on Preston Williams. I think he's fantastic too. Isaiah Ford, he's a good dude, but also, Mike Gesicki. This is a game stack game. People are going to go to it. It's okay. These guys are, it's playable. Gesicki's he's a tight end, but he's basically a wide receiver. He doesn't line up as a tight end.
Yep.
No, I love it, man. And I like Fitzpatrick with a couple of his pieces, and then just go ahead and play Metcalf and lock it with him. Screw it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look, they're
going to take 80% of Russ's passes between those two guys, so just lock them both in. Forget about it.
The Seahawks have given up 73 points to wide receivers. Miami's given up 40. That's 110. That's in 3 weeks. Miami's given up the 4th most points to quarterbacks, and Seattle's given up the 2nd. Mm-hmm. Of course. This is a no-brainer.
First stack I built this morning when I was making those 9 lineups was Fitzpatrick, Gaskins, Lockett, Metcalf, Parker. It's the first thing I built.
Look, it's a no-brainer. You did it because you're supposed to, not because you're smart. Not that you're not
Ah,
smart, but it's just
I
how
am not
it's
smart.
It's like a no-brainer. You should be able
I
to
am
do
not
it.
smart, Chris. I am not
No, you're
smart.
smart, but this isn't an indication. This isn't a precursor of it. This is, you don't have to be on some advanced
just like
drugs to be able to do this.
I like it. All right, we love this game. Play all the pieces. Moving on. The Chargers heading to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay are 7.5-point favorites, 43.5 over/under. That's awfully low. Awfully low. Is there a reason why it's that low? What do you think, Chris? We'll let you start this time.
Look, I don't know why it's so low. Well, I mean, I know that, Godwin's going to be out for a while, so you got to like Mike Evans on that side of the ball. But I have a favorite play. I have two really. There's a lot of plays I like. I like everybody on the Chargers.
Well, this is the lowest total of the week, and that just blew my mind, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Eckler has been so much better with Herbert back there. I love Eckler. I played Kelly last week, even though I wrote up Eckler. I wrote them both up, but Eckler's a fantastic play. I think Hunter Henry is going under-owned, underappreciated, under-talked about. Hasn't had a fantastic game, but he's been extremely solid in terms of his production. I mean, just take a look at this. The last 3 weeks, we've seen 8 targets, and 7 targets, 73, 83, 50 yards. Did you even realize he was putting up those type of numbers? Probably not. I really didn't until I dug deep, and the only reason I was digging deep is because this absolute stud at 6,500, Keenan Allen. Holy crap! How many targets did he get last week? 19 targets, 6,100. Did I talk about him? I felt like I talked about him. I wanted to play him. I didn't play him because I had some other guys who were on that price point. I wish I would have played him. 34 fantasy points. I think he's going to have another huge week. Will he put up 34? Yeah, I think he will. I think he's going to put up 34 points. That's kind of my projection right now when I look at my computer and I plug in all the numbers. It's saying he's going to do 34 again. I don't make these things. It's just what it is.
Yeah, we talked about Keenan Allen. I don't know if we spent a lot of time, but we definitely talked about liking him because I remember talking about Mike Williams just shitting the bed on me for seasonal and everything this year.
I can't even find him on my projections in terms of projected ownership. I can't find him. I'm looking for him right now. I'm seeing T. Higgins at 10% and just Kenny Golladay. Like where is he? What?
Where did he go, George?
Hang on, I'm gonna have to search. There's not a search function. Oh man, these ownerships, they're terrible. I'm gonna have to go cross-reference. I'm gonna have to go find some. Oh, there. Wait, I think I found him. No, that's Keelan Cole. Like, holy crap, he's not gonna be owned. He's not gonna be owned after getting 19. And look, it's not like it was an aberration. Like he wasn't part of the offense before. He had 10 targets the week before. He had 8 targets the week before that. This is slam dunk. Keenan Allen. Cash lineup. Stack him with the Dolphins. Stack him with the Seahawks. Stack him with Amari Cooper. Stack him. Mike Evans.
Stuck it. Mark
Henry.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
If you're stacking this game, outside of Mike Evans on the other side, what do you like on Tampa Bay? They're at home. They're 7.5-point favorites. Is Fournette your guy here? Jones? Are you just playing Mike Evans and that's it?
Yeah, my favorite
Tom
play
Brady?
is. Yeah, my favorite play would be Brady to Evans. I think you can get away with. Fournette. Yeah, I like Fournette in this situation too, and he's been getting more involved, especially in the passing game. But I agree, Chris. I think Evans is the play.
Evans on that side, Keenan Allen.
Danger. I found him. I found him on the list.
Yes.
He's 4% owned. 4% owned.
Well, don't talk about it too loudly. Hey, shut up, man. Don't tell anybody about it. Let's keep that to ourselves. Watch yourself.
4% owned with like Terry McLaurin, Chenault, Zach Pascal, Jarvis Landry, Christian Kirk. One of these guys is not like the other.
I absolutely love it. That's my new catchphrase. Shut up, man. I'm just going to every show.
Stop it. You're a clown.
Every show. Love it. Love it. All right. Hey, before I forget.
Hey, guys, hey, stand by. I'm going to go get a drink. Stand by.
I like that. All right, that's a good idea. I'm thirsty as well, but I'll wait for him to come back so then you guys can talk, and then Mark, you can walk away. We'll talk. We'll take turns. It'll be fun.
Right here. It's not that big a
It'll be
deal.
fun.
I
Really fun.
got my drink.
All right, moving on. You know what? I skipped over a team, and I don't know why, because as we're talking, I just heard him say Allen Robinson, and realized at the top of my list was the Indianapolis Colts heading to Chicago Bears. We have a quarterback change. Nick Foles seems destined to only be good when he's taking over a gig and not after he gets fat paid to be a starter. Allen Robinson, I love him. Probably take another swing at Montgomery. Just see what happens there, man. I don't know how much I like the Colts side at all in this game. 43.5, 3-point favorites are the Colts. But I like Allen Robinson. I like Nick Foles. I like Monty. Mark, what's your opinion of the Colts and the Bears?
I love Foles and Allen Robinson for sure. I'm just not a Monty fan. I know it's probably a really good situation for him.
With Cohen on the IR now.
Yeah, but Indianapolis is they're in the top 6 of against the run.
Yeah, they've been a solid D.
Yeah, it's the solid run D.
Yeah.
So I think I'll avoid Monty again, but yeah, I love Allen Robinson here. I love the way Nick Foles was targeting him and throwing to him. And I like how Foles is pushing stuff down the field where Trubisky was just dinking and dunking all over the place. So
yeah, you think Mitch is just done? This is just Foles' team now, no matter what?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was just a matter of time. From everything I read, Nick Foles beat him out in camp, and they just wanted to give him one last shot to see if they had him since they spent 2 years with him.
Sure.
And and it just they had a little excitement in week 1, playing a shit ass Detroit team, and just went all downhill from there. So now it's Nick Foles' team.
Yeah. Now the other. Go ahead.
Again, Detroit's on a winning streak. You need to stop.
Yeah. They narrowly avoided being 0-4 to the bye.
So all this interrupting danger here. It's just
it's fine. Hey, shut up, man.
That's awesome.
Anyways, I'm usually the one trying to rail somebody in. It's fine. So the other side so far. Looking through this, and of course, we don't really get into our favorite defensive picks until we get all the injury reports and everything. And Sunday morning is really the day that we kind of nail down our favorite defenses. But so far this week, I mean, Chicago Bears has been kind of my favorite defense in my early builds against the Colts. I mean, Rivers could throw picks anytime. And Chris wants to say something here. Go ahead, Chris.
Tagging with Cordell Patterson, baby. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, dude, that was that. How do you say that guy's name? Duvernay. This is the Baltimore guy.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Duchovny, I don't know. The Baltimore kick returner.
Think about it.
We were talking about that, and he got that kick return, dude. And that's the start to that game when he took that kick return back. And I had a defense in the captain slot, and I had him down there, and I was super excited, and I was jumping up and down. Then I finished like 4th to last in that thing after all the weirdness that went on. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but look, Cordell Patterson, dude likes to run the ball. I mean, he was a running back. We've talked about this before a couple of last year. If you followed us since then, thank you for doing so. But look, he could get some of those touches that went to Tariq Cohen. He could return a touchdown if you like the defense and you want to play a lineup that could win the $1 million. I probably am not going to play this in the $4,444 one. And unless I win the NBA Showdown, I'm probably not going to play that. If anybody wants to stake me in it, I'd love to, help you out. We'll figure it out. But, I think Montgomery's a fine play. He's going to get the most of the workload. Allen Robinson is a fantastic play. Now he has a competent quarterback that can actually get him the ball. I don't think that it was a matter of Trubisky not pushing the ball down the field. I just don't think he could. There were several passes where he just missed them. They weren't catchable when he was throwing down the field. When you see Foles do it, he's putting them on there and they're catchable balls. So it's a very different situation. And, the other guy that's playable, and I did talk somebody out of him, was Jimmy Graham. Maybe Jimmy Graham's going to get a little more targets in the red zone. He's going to be playable at 3,800. I don't hate it in a tight end situation where if you get down to that 3,800, you need a tight end. I mean, who else is around that price point. Tight end, like we discussed last week, is kind of a tough position, pretty cheap, and I don't really think that there's another guy around that price point unless you want to go back to Logan Thomas, and Logan Thomas has his own issues, none of his own fault, but it's, Haskins is worse than Trubisky. So, I like a couple pieces from the Chicago team. I don't mind the defense. They are at home. They are the dog, but yeah, I like what you're saying. It's a Phillip Rivers. We're targeting Phillip Rivers. We're hoping that Nick Foles can get ahead. And if Nick Foles can get ahead, that means Phillip Rivers has to throw the ball. It means Phillip Rivers is going to try and put it into spots that he shouldn't, because, he's got amazing arm talent, more so in his head than in actuality. Not a bad quarterback, but, it just is a recipe for a team to be able to get some pick sixes. I like it.
And if you are not on the Bears D, like I am, on the other side of the ball, I've really fallen in love with Mo Alley Cox, man. I think he's a great player. It's been fun to watch him play. I root for him. And, he's the kind of guy that even with Doyle back, they're splitting him out. They have an immense amount of injuries in their wide receiver core. And Mo Alley, being a tight end, is just not seeing price increasing like he should with the expected usage. He's just cheap, but I'm not going to play him because I'm going to probably be like 80% Bears D unless we come up with another winner like we did in Week 1 Sunday morning. But I really like him a lot. Ty is okay, I guess, but you could play Taylor. Taylor's okay, but I'm just on the Bears D. But I think you're right, man. I think I like a Foles and Cordell and the D. Dig it. Any more thoughts on this game? Shall we move on? All right, moving along. Let's go ahead and talk about, I guess we can skip Pittsburgh and Tennessee since it'll be moved to either Monday or Tuesday most likely,
I didn't
which
really
is a
like
shame.
too much in the first place. It wasn't a spot. This was a spot where I was ready to skip. Derrick Henry really paid off last week, had the right situation. Didn't really want to run him against Pittsburgh, so I'm happy. I'm happy that I don't have to make that decision. Moving on.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. I hadn't really gotten deep into it because then I heard it was being moved. So we'll take the Baltimore Ravens heading to the Washington football team. Basically, Vegas odds are saying that these 45 points are going to be scored by Baltimore. So 45-point over-under, 13-point road favorites are the Baltimore Ravens. They really disappointed us on Monday night. I think that they want to come back and just put their foot on the throat of this Washington football team. Mark, are they going to be able to do it?
Yes, they are.
Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to have lots of Baltimore in a couple of GPPs, and I'm going to be loading it up.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with Baltimore. They're a very talented team, but it just seems to be different people every week outside of Jackson himself. And I like Brown a lot. He's immensely talented, but I think his price tag continues to be a little too high for my liking. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into this game quite yet. I didn't get this far down on a Wednesday yet. So, Chris, what do you think about this game initially?
Yeah, Brown's fine. He's playing a significant amount of the snaps. He's getting, a lot of route run. He's getting passes to him. There were a couple where they just missed him. The best play to go with Jackson, though, is going to be Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews missed a couple touchdowns, or a couple catches, a touchdown or two. Honestly, the lineup that I had was today, the Sherman, and then it was the two tight ends and the two quarterbacks with Mahomes up top. Man, if Lamar could have had a couple of those passes to Andrews, I would have been a little bit more than I was for a while. But I like Mark Andrews, especially after a couple of these weeks where, he kind of disappointed. His price has gone down to $6K. We've talked about tight ends. He's not my favorite play, but he did run 26 routes. When we're talking about his snap count and comparison, I'm totally off all of the running backs just because they are getting an even distribution. Their pricing is just going to be too high. Yeah, 44 out of 53 snaps. 8 targets, only caught 3 of them. Only prop bet I missed on Monday. I'm going to go right back to him. So
I dig it, man. That game, man, Honestly, if Waller would have caught a couple of those balls and that game would have been a little closer, and I don't think we would have seen a lot of those goofy plays from Kansas City, and I think he would have been in some money having Sherman and that was a nice lineup, man. It was sad the way that game turned out. Yeah, I'm sorry. Not Waller. Yes, Andrews.
That's okay. Apology accepted.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. Fragile. Fragile. But on the Washington side of this ball, I mean, Gibson is underwhelmed. I'm not a fan. Scary Terry's great, but Haskins, I don't know, man. Any love for Washington at all? Do you run anybody back if you play a Baltimore stack, or you just do a Baltimore and forget about the Washington side, Chris?
I completely just took offense to that. I thought Gibson had a fantastic game last week. I thought he played well. Just wasn't really the right game script. Wasn't the situation. Still scored a touchdown. Haskins had a couple bad throws. Some of them really weren't his fault necessarily, but he's bad. He's
from
not
Ohio
good.
State, man. He's terrible.
Yeah, no, look, he's a bad quarterback. The first interception wasn't his fault. The next, 17 were. The fumble was. I'm obviously local here in the Washington market, so the second TV was hooked up to that game. And it just felt like, and my buddy was watching the other TV, so I'd see he didn't even pay attention to that game. And then he would see them turn over the ball. And after I just pointed out that they turned over the ball, and for some reason, it felt like they were just turning over the ball so much, even though we were watching the turnovers 2 times. It felt like that was legitimately something that they were doing. It was that bad. I think you can play Terry. Not this week. I'm not interested against Baltimore. Baltimore's a good defense. Don't look at what happened against the premier offense in the league in Kansas City and think that Washington's going to be able to come in and do the same thing, because they're not. That defense is going to be pissed off that they got embarrassed on national TV, and they're going to take it off or take it
out.
That's weird.
Out's the word.
I couldn't figure it out. They're going to take it. They're going to take it out and go off, and it's going to be.
I think you need the other. I think you need to switch the bourbon.
Out of this world. They're going to play outstanding.
All right, moving on. Moving on.
Mark, do you have any thoughts on the Washington offense?
No, he doesn't.
Absolutely nothing. No.
He's got no thoughts on that.
Those were good passes to Dontrell Inman. Those were good looks. You watch the film, they were good. Dontrell Inman, he's a fine wide receiver.
He's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. All right, let's talk about another terrible team. The New York Giants looked pathetic against the San Francisco practice squad. Going up against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 12.5-point favorites, 48 over under. I really like the Rams, man. Henderson looked fantastic. I'm all about it. I had to pick up Goff in a couple of leagues because of my terrible drafting this year and deciding to have no priority for quarterbacks, because I'll find some terrible quarterbacks that will do fine. That technique did not work this year, so I now have Goff on 2 leagues. So I'm rooting for him.
Hey, how did we start first sit, Mark? Who was the first thing that we talked about? Do you remember?
Jared Goff?
No.
No.
Who was I said to the people that
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp was the one guy. And what did I say? Why did I like Cooper Kupp? It was because I felt like they play from behind. I was lighter on Josh Allen than I wanted to, or than I should have been. Well, it's not than I wanted to be. It's than I wanted to be after I saw him score a bunch of touchdowns. I really wanted more Josh Allen at that point. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, that was a good call by me. Really going to pat myself on the back. Unfortunately, I didn't have Cooper Kupp with Allen Robinson. It was an either or, and because I had those guys, I didn't have Tyler Lockett. So, yeah, look, it was a bad week overall profit-wise for me, but I think there were some really, really good things on the top end of the lineup, the skill positions. Cooper Kupp,
what? Excellent articles, excellent radio, terrible execution. It's fine.
Yeah, look, hey, you're probably not building the same lineup as me, so maybe if you took my advice, it worked out. But, I like a lot of the pieces still. Higbee was awful. Shout out to Tom Bender for that fucking stupid idea in my head. Got off him and went on to Hayden Hurst, who, I was celebrating when he caught the touchdown and then he disappeared. Whatever, man. This isn't going to be that week. I like the Rams in terms of their defense, both of these teams are really fast in terms of how quickly they snap the ball. They have some fast guys on the teams too. They run the ball. They're very fast. Some really cutting edge analysis here. I'm kind of fading.
I love it.
Really need to help me out here.
All right. Let's talk about the running back situation. It looks like Cam Akers may come back. Malcolm Brown was good for a game, hurt his finger. Henderson has been fantastic. Do they just keep it in Henderson's hands? Mark, have you been paying attention to any of this?
Yeah, I think Henderson still gets the majority of the snaps, but he's sharing with Malcolm Brown, and if you throw Akers back in, it's going to bring it down a little bit, but I think Henderson will still be the lead back. But for me personally, I lean towards LA's passing game here.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about a bottom-ranked passing defense in the Giants, and I'm going right back to a Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods type of situation. The only position that the Giants actually defend well against this year is the tight end, so I probably will not play Higbee. And I'll stick with the Woods and Kupp.
I kind of like Henderson still at 5,800. I think his upside here at 5,800 in the game, they might get out to a jump lead and then run the ball in the second half. $5,800 for a guy that can put up, 25, 28 fantasy points quickly. I think that value is there for me. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the concern that you have to have, and I guess you could play it that they're going to be ahead, but in the last 2 weeks, he's only played half the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 12 and 20. I mean, yeah, he's ran the ball quite a bit, but he's only playing half the snaps, and that is worrisome. The other half is going to Malcolm Brown. I don't know. I'm going to put 4-1 odds that if Cam Akers becomes a prominent part of this offense sometime this year or next year, that you call him Cam Newton or I do, one of the two. Or we call Cam Newton Cam Akers. One of those.
I think it's guaranteed. Especially if he makes the tipsy picks this week. That very, very possible.
You might
very,
even not realize that you're talking about a different guy because your glasses off, you're drunk.
Yeah, dude. I think that combination was very entertaining, and I think that I should go a step further and try to record, edit, add the graphics, and send it to you guys before I sober up.
Without your glasses, all of those.
Dude, you should have seen all the cutouts. I was like,
no, we saw them. You didn't come
It was pretty funny. Well, the truth was that I didn't care about the glare, Chris. The truth was the glasses were in the basement, and I was on the second floor, and I didn't want to go down 2 sets of floors and back up, so I just left them off.
Yeah, I noticed the studio was a little different.
That's true. Yeah, it was the bedroom. It was the bedroom. Yeah, definitely. My wife was not passed out next to me, not at all. She wasn't actually. She was downstairs. But anyways,
anybody on the Giants side?
I mean, I think you got to pay a little bit of attention to Tate or Slayton if you're going to think that they can try to keep up to get the high-scoring side. I have no interest in Freeman for a couple of weeks. I like him. He was a stash for seasonal leagues because if he does get into a rhythm with this team, he's possibly a guy that can do some damage. But not really. I don't really have any love for the other side.
Yeah, I mean, again, they play really quick, both teams, so you're going to get a lot of snaps. I think that Slayton or Tate are both very viable. Slayton would be my preference.
Yeah, I like them both. All right, 2 more games to go, my friends. New England Patriots heading to Kansas City. I think this is going to be a fun game, man. I hope it's on TV here because I think I'd like to watch this. The Patriots heading to Kansas City. 7-point favorites are the Chiefs. 53.5 over under. I mean, Cam has been really fun to watch, Mark.
Yeah, until he burned me last week, but that's all right. Cam tends to step up in big games like this, and I like Cam in this game. I'm not a fan. I don't know who he's going to throw to, so it'll be another week of running Cam naked out there.
I mean, Damiere Byrd is still going to be $3,000, so I still have a little bit of it.
Nicole Harry, maybe.
He was out there 98% of snaps, man. 98% of snaps at $3K. Come on, he ran just as many routes as Edelman, just as many routes as Harry. Wasn't necessarily targeted as much, but he's 3,000. If you're going to play a $3,000 player, and you shouldn't most of the time because they're really bad, but this is your guy. This is okay. It's in the GPP.
He's 3,000 again, Chris. He's 3,000 again.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's all good. It really frees it up. It absolutely frees up your lineup. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I think he hits
man.
snaps. They should give you points for snaps. If you're 3K or less and you're a skill position player, you should get points for playing time.
Yeah, quarter point per slap. I like that. Slap?
Only in the quarter jukebox though.
Yeah, I agree. For the Kansas City side, I mean, it appears New England is still trying to be New England, where they just pick a guy and take him out of the game. Is that person Kelsey this week?
I think so. I think that's who you have to take out.
I think I agree with you. I think this is a Sammy Watkins game for me. $4,400. I like Sammy a lot this week. Chris, what do you like?
I really liked that Tyreek Hill touchdown. Such a beautiful pass and beautiful catch, even though the defender was so much taller than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think the only problem with Tyreek is he's a little high priced, but I think I'm going to go back to him. He just looks really good right now, and Mahomes is looking for him all the time.
I like that a lot, and as well, I just like that 44 for Sammy. I just think he's the guy that could put up a 2-touchdown game for $4,400.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sammy Watkins played the most snaps of any receiver, so I like that call. I think McCole Hardman's an interesting play because that big play has been something that Kansas City's been able to do against New England. Look, they played 4 times in the last 3 years. 29, 42, 5, and 13. Those are Tyreek Hill's numbers. So I don't have a problem playing with him or playing him. I don't know. But basically, you're going to get a boomer bust play. That's okay. We're not here to play players that hit median projections. We're here to win, a bunch of money so we can lose every other day during a month and still sit pretty, right? So Tyreek Hill's a position where you could do that. But, those are good plays. But I think the best one, the greatest one is, Edwards-Helaire, getting a lot more work in the passing downs. If you're going to take somebody out, he's not the guy you're going to take out of the game. He's going to be the guy that's left open. That's going to be kind of the, I wouldn't say weakness, but the semi-weakness to New England's defense. Their strength is in the corners. They've been better against the running back, but that's just because they played Seattle, and Seattle doesn't run the ball anymore. It's just been what kind of world do we live in where Seattle doesn't run the ball? So who cares? We talked about that earlier. I like Helaire. He's not going to be super owned. I think I have him right above Dalvin Cook. You can put him together. His price is still fantastic. It's still somewhere in the 6s. I can look it up and tell you exactly.
64.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Where were you on that, Danger? That's your job. You got to have it.
No, man. I'm doing other things. Don't mind me.
Yeah, but that's what I like. That's what I like. That's why I like it. I'm loving that this Lakers game is going the way that it was. That when it was 23-10, we were on the air for a while. I forgot the game had started because my TVs can't be on apparently while I'm on air. And
I'll be honest with you, man. Until just now, it wasn't really helpful. TV's on or off. So it didn't matter. I think you got a bandwidth issue. You got something sucking up bandwidth.
Yours looks terrible too.
Well, it always looks terrible. So
yours looks terrible. Mark, yours looks fantastic. Did you get a haircut yet?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but I didn't want to say that you didn't, and if you did, so
I love it. Well, maybe when I win all 4 of these 4-way parlays here after Walker Buehler dominates tonight, I'll buy a camera. How's that? I like it. All right, fair enough.
You probably won't have it till like 2-3 months from now. They're sold out everywhere. Every good camera.
Oh, probably.
Oh, I love my little. I'm using this little Logitech 925. It's beautiful. It's only $100 at Office Depot.
I like it. I'm all over.
It's really $100 to $200. They're just sold out right now because everybody needs them for school, needs them for work.
Zoom, baby. Zoom. All right, guys, last game. We are looking at Buffalo Bills heading to Las Vegas. 3-point favorites are the Bills, 52.5. How can you not just love Josh Allen again and again and again and again and again? Mark, what do you think?
I love them. I love them, especially against Las Vegas. I love them. I'm going to have lots of them.
Love it. You know I like to play the late hammer, so I'll probably have a lot of Waller, probably have some Singletary in there, and some Josh Allen. Probably Diggs. Yeah. I'm looking through. Yeah, these are all truths.
Diggs has scored every single week.
Yeah,
it's great.
I might even get back on the Josh Jacobs bandwagon. I haven't dug deep into the Buffalo
Gabriel
Bills.
Davis.
Gabriel Davis. I don't even know who that is. Chris, enlighten me. Who the hell is Gabriel Davis?
Gabriel Davis is a wide receiver on the Buffalo Bills professional football team. Has 46 out of 58 snaps, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 81 yards, caught a touchdown the week before, especially if Brown's going to be limited or out. And I don't think that there's any indication of that, but Gabriel Davis is a guy that you can look to. He's only 3,200, so he's probably not better than Bird, but he's another real cheap guy that you can look to. He's going to be I think another piece in this offense at times that you could take a flyer out on. I mean, Cole Beasley too. There's a lot of pieces. Stephon Diggs is my favorite piece, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
What about Singletary against the bottom-ranked run defense of the Raiders?
No.
No love at all.
No, they just don't. No. I'm done. I quit him. I'm done. He had his week. Last week was his week. He failed us all. He let us all down.
He truly did.
Really
let us down.
Really did. I mean,
it hurt. His price was perfect, 4,900. He had his spot. He had his time, and
I didn't like it last week, so I didn't play him at all.
Screwed the pitch. I loved him last week, and he screwed the pitch.
Oh, there was no reason not to like him at the price, the matchup. He almost got into the end zone. He wasn't able to get there, so the opportunity was there. But they just didn't go back to him because they have a bunch of weapons. Josh Allen is going to steal touchdowns from some of those running backs. And now that he's up at 6,000, I don't know, is Zach Moss going to be back? I mean, if Zach Moss is back, then absolutely not. No, there are other running backs around that price, a little cheaper, a little more expensive that I'm more interested in. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I like I said, I haven't dug into him. So if he's up at 6,000, man, and over, I had no way. Yeah, I think I'm with you. Well, what about Josh Jacobs? He had a bounce back week.
No, I mean, I don't know if he does. Again, there are other players that I'm more interested in matchups.
Jacobs so frustrating. He either scores 3 touchdowns or he gets 1 touchdown and 40 yards. It's just he's a frustrating player.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if that's 100% the truth. I mean,
I just said it, therefore it's true.
25, 27, 16, 93, 88, 71 yards. Definitely needs a touchdown at times, but he is in the passing game. We're talking 6, 3, and 4 targets. So, the problem is that the positional equity that you're playing with, and that's what you need to look at sometimes. Is he a fine play? I mean, sure, but what other fine plays are there at that price? What are their chances of blowing up? What are the chances of blowing up in a bad way? And I don't like Josh Jacobs for a lot of those reasons. If you want to play a guy that's going to have almost no ownership, certainly has the potential to, give you 3 to 4x. But I mean, really, what is his absolute ceiling? Probably that Carolina game at 35. Prior to that last year, I mean, he had a couple games in the mid-20s, 1 in the 30s, but you need almost a better floor at that price. And despite his role, it's just not there. But Darren Waller, 5,200.
That's my boy. Love Darren Waller. Darren Waller. Any other statements today, guys? You want to talk about Atlanta and Green Bay, even though I would save that for another time.
Save it for another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on First Sip, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. right here, live on Facebook and YouTube, draftforupside.com, Draft for Upside on Facebook, fantasyfootballblueprint.com. You can find all of our wonderful paying members stuff right there. Like it. We've been getting quite a few subscribers, guys. People are like listening to us. Hopefully we get some screenshots from some fans, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I want to see our subscribers winning some money. I want to see some lineups.
Or our esteemed host right here, Jonathan Danger.
That's me.
It's your turn, man. It's your turn.
Hey, I'm about to do a four-way parlays tonight. That's pretty cool. Of course, it wasn't on my information. Thanks, Lou Landers. Love you, buddy. Yeah, love you, Lou. You're a good man. I got nothing else to talk about, guys, and I want to watch Walker Buehler win me $400. So I'm gonna probably go.
All right.
What do you think of that?
Adios means goodbye.
All right, I am Johnny Danger. With me was Brewery Mark and Chris Emmerich. We are Draft for Upside. Catch all of our content at fantasyfootballblueprint.com. We'll catch you on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. for First Sip.
See ya.